Hello, good Sunday afternoon to everybody in Empowered Soul Network. Wow, what a week it's been. We've had some great interviews. I got some more coming up throughout the whole month of March. It's so exciting. And I am just so pleased and thrilled to have a good colleague and friend of mine, Nikki Perryman from Des Moines, Iowa. She is a Reiki healer, and you'll have to tell me how to say that name. What's that name, Nikki? Usui, USUI,
USC.
USC, okay? USC Reiki healer. She specializes in both human and animal energy and chakra cleansing, and she's currently engaged with some special training for deeper animal energy communication and healing. Plus, she is a full-time working woman in the banking industry, and she's a full-time mom of a wonderful old soul, Vera. And she also has numerous pets behind there. She's just got all kinds of things going on in life. So, Nikki, I want to welcome you. Glad you're
Thank you.
here. So, tell us just a little bit more about yourself and what you're feeling. What inspired you to want to do this interview today?
Well, thank you, first of all, Paul. I would just like to thank you and Sandra and Susan for coming into my life because we are going to do some great things. But yeah, I just celebrated my 39th year of life in January. Um, I know it's crazy. I don't feel like 39, but it's a good thing. I think that growing up is good. And then I have an amazing, just like you said, an old soul for a daughter. Her soul as this human existence is she's way beyond probably some of the years that we've ever been in. But yeah, I the reason I wanted to kind of speak with everyone today is to talk about all the things that we could go forward through with healing the world, what we're trying to do, and just kind of make it like so it's a domino effect almost where everybody's like, okay, that is something that interests me, and it might be something you may not completely understand, but we're all here for everyone to be a part of.
That's beautiful. There's a whole lot of conversation about healing and spiritual healing and Reiki, Qigong, and just energy healers. Bring us back to 101. For you, what have you found is the core principle or idea or feeling of healing? What does that mean to you to heal or be healed or help in healing?
So for me, as this human existence, I already came in to this world to heal people. Now, not to say that I didn't have to go through the process myself as like the human experience.
Hmm.
Um, the 101 of it is that I want to help people work through their PTSD, their any trauma. It doesn't necessarily have to be PTSD that hits you every day. Any trauma that might have happened from childhood, anxiety, depression, and then you kind of can even help when you talk about dis-ease with other mental. I hate to say mental, because honestly, when you have like a situation like that, you kind of are even more powerful than you know.
Mm.
You're like, take someone who might be suffering from being bipolar. They are some of the most creative people I have ever met, like hands down. Their artwork is just I can't even, it's mind blowing to me. So helping people through every rainbow spectrum, from very small anxiety to all the way to someone who is suffering very horribly. If it is the hands-on Reiki, to other things that you can do to help you get through this human experience.
Yeah, that's really good. So when someone's helping someone, like you're helping someone, you're working with the energy and the way you work with it. what's the key for them to gain the value of it, to make it continue the next day, or to improve so that they don't keep coming back a mess every single time? How does a person keep elevating a little bit as you are of service to them?
A wonderful question, because while I'm working with my clients, I tell them all of the things that they can work on um, when they leave me. So what like one of like the easiest ways that you can find out about your chakras is using a pendulum and doing dowsing. So finding out, what is not in line. Okay.
Okay.
So I will do that in the session, and
Hmm.
then up with them and let them know the type of foods that they can eat, the type of affirmations they can say to themselves,
Okay.
universe. But one of my main and something that I think is the most powerful is working with your angels. And the key to that is also being open. So you, just like you said, so you don't just come back a mess in a month, right? You do have to work. It is the client's responsibility to work on themselves, not because they're your client, but it's because it's their soul. That is the most precious thing that the human body has. So when they are ready and accepting to being open to that, um, I think it's just things like meditation, um, eating the colorful foods that the chakras are closed, the affirmations, talking to your angels, maybe even getting angel cards. Um, you can get those from Amazon. You just shuffle them. Angels, what do I need to know today? And you rather can wait for one to fall out of your hand, or you can just, like a deck of cards. There's so many things you can do.
There's a lot of kind of almost like trusting your own intuitions and following your instincts, following your knowingness that seems to play into what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that your intuition is everything. It is even the butterflies you get in your stomach, the queasy feeling you get in your stomach,
Hmm.
maybe like the weird feeling you get in your shoulder. I mean, just like little things, okay? And everybody has it, no matter what part of their journey they are with their soul. Everybody has intuition. So it is very important to respect and honor.
So as you were exploring and searching and maybe awakening to all this yourself, what did you find, Nikki, were the things that were the greatest challenge for you personally? I think a lot of people they go at it from everybody's different, so we have our different life experiences, but everybody relates to each other in different ways. What was happening for you that helped you to awaken or that caused you to start wanting that? What were you going through and so on?
Yes. So I've always been different, like since I was little. That was never a surprise. I, was always extra, extra kind in things that I did. I always felt different growing up, kind of like an outsider, what like the world now calls like a black sheep. Um, but I wasn't, because I, even when growing up, I was able to spread that love. Um, so black sheep might be like a rough term to use. But for me, honestly, it was trauma. It was PTSD, something that happened to me a few years ago that was almost life or death. And it I rather was gonna just crumble or survive. And I did more than survive. I flourished. It was like a phoenix, like for real. I really didn't understand. I was like, oh, Phoenix Rising. I've always heard of that term since I was probably like 10 years old. It's kind of when you start to really understand things. Um, but it wasn't probably until, I guess, what was that, like 5 years now, when I wrote, oh, I now understand what Phoenix Rising means, because that's me. And I would love to help other people um, instead of crumble or stay stagnant, rise.
Was there a place where you actually consciously recognized I'm stumbling, this is not good, this is not where I want to be? And what were the signals to you? What was showing up where you said, "Whoa, wait a minute, time out"?
Right. So for me, it was intuition, but I would say that Vera, my daughter, really made me realize that you can no longer stay sad or hurt, um, because she already knew, she's a much older soul than me. I already know that. I truly believe that she's been like a mother and a grandmother and a father to me in other incarnations. Um, but it was her, like, for sure. So sometimes healers that came here to heal the world kind of need that push. And I was lucky enough to have that. Because also a sense of responsibility, right? Like I knew that I had a sense of responsibility, not just only for my daughter, but for the whole entire world and animals too. That's just kind of been my thing my whole life. Um, so I would have to say just kind of like the get up from my intuition, and I would call that my angels, and then Vera.
So it was actually the need to step outside of what my own problem is, right? Even though that's a serious thing, it's not something
Right.
to poo-poo. I'm going through, but now I've got something else that I need to engage. I need to pay attention to. There's almost this now the solution orientation begins to happen because I have to also walk this path as well. Is that what I hear you saying? That like that's where the thriving begins to to connect a little bit and flourishing.
Yes, for sure. You're nail on the head for sure. Um, it's it's you realize that it's not about your human self anymore. Like, and I think that that's what the world needs help with. And then once you can help all of the people that you are surrounded by with, you know, if it's Reiki energy, if it's just like helping them connect with their angels,
Hmm.
um, or with chakra clearing, energy clearing, they also start to take responsibility for their own soul, right? Even if they didn't go through trauma, which I mean, honestly, this world almost everybody has. But yeah,
Yeah, in some form or another, the world's a challenging place out there, right? So
and that definitely the world needs healing right now more than probably any other time in human history.
so one of the things we talked about before we went live here was the balance that you have been able to so far and are continuing to grow and create in your working full-time life, your full-time motherhood with that amazing Vera that we just saw, yay for Vera, and then the healing work that you are now doing and want to continue to expand. How in the world do you balance all that, Nikki? What are some of the keys and secrets?
I don't even know if there's secrets. It's just like the absolute devotion to my soul and my soul pack, all my soul sisters and brothers. Like we came here for a reason to help. And now that I know that, like I still sleep at least probably 6 to 8 hours, maybe 10 hours on the weekend. Let's be real. Um, but you just you make it work. You get up early enough to meditate, and then you go to work, and then you come home and you keep a clean home, and you then find the 1 or 2 hours in the evening that you can do yoga, and then maybe that other hour I will do some deep meditation, talk with my angels. um and then the next night it may be one of my clients comes to my home for Reiki. um I just, you just do, you know? And I think as long as you have that devotion to something in your life, which for me, it's my soul and my soul sisters right now and brothers, um, to make sure that we're doing what we said when we were, home,
Yep.
uh, here and do. Like, I want to make us proud.
There's a level of commitment that I hear you talking about.
It's, yeah, it's, you just do it, I
Now,
guess.
that
Times when I don't feel like I'm doing enough, but then I will draw an angel card and they'll be like, chill out, flow like water. They tell me that a lot. They tell me to flow like water a lot. And I think that everybody in their soul journey needs to remember, stop putting pressure on yourself. It is a journey. It is not a marathon.
that's beautiful. What are some keys that you have found in so far in working with that old soul and that young body? Because I know a lot of people are listening. I know myself. I know my daughters who have one of them has Sandra has children about your age, about Vera's age. What are the keys to working with a soul like that? They're so creative, they're so precocious, they're so independent. And how do you do it? How do you make that work?
So I let her be. I let her literally do what she feels, what she wants. It is not, there's no room to hinder. It does not make sense.
Sure.
Uh, when she's having a moment, that is almost what the world would call like a tantrum or a crying spell. I let her have it because she is also a person and she a human, I mean. So she's this old soul that has so much knowledge. And when they're younger, they have way more remembrance of where we're from, right? So that can be frustrating for them because they are independent, like you said. They are amazing and strong, and they already know that. So you just have to let them be. And then you, as the adult, need to stay calm, loving. It's okay to have feelings.
And so within all of that, how do you find the the need for the boundaries? You know,
Mhm.
the energy of okay, we got to do some schoolwork, got to turn the TV on. How have you found what are the keys to setting boundaries as you're maintaining that love and that joy and so on?
I would say just, I guess I'm a little lucky because she does listen to me like the first time. If it's something like very simple, like go brush your teeth. But the boundaries for schoolwork, if you want, and I know this is almost, maybe I hate to use the word manipulation because it is a horrible thing. But if you want to continue to have all these great things, you do need to go do that one math sheet that will take 10 minutes in your evening. Um, she's very understanding for those things. So maybe I'm lucky.
Well, it sounds
Uh,
like it's almost like maybe instead of manipulation, they create a little contract. It's a little agreement here. You
yeah,
know, okay, we'll do this. Here's what we need to do. You're good with that? Great. Okay, let's do this. And
yeah,
is that maybe the feeling of it?
yeah, because she is super grateful. She knows that she has a really fun life because I always make things happen like every weekend. Um, and I guess because I love her so much and our love, if you could actually think about time as a soul, like we've been together probably millions, trillions of years. So it's really easy for me to and for her to like just kind of accept this amazing vibe that we have. Um, I think that just every parent should just take a little patience and love, and then also remember gratitude. Like our kids need us because even though their soul, we still have a brain that inhibits every soul knowing that we've ever known.
Hmm. Hmm.
You pass away and when we remember who we are. So we just have to be patient.
So Nikki, here's a great thing to talk about here. How do you translate that same method, that same attitude that you have with Vero? How can a person practicing the way you're talking with the child, how can you translate into that into the world of adults? Like you work in the banking industry with all kinds of different people thinking all kinds of different things that come from all different ways of life, religion, cultures, you name it. How do you find the ground to walk on as you're going there?
For sure. So for me, because I know what I know about my soul and like why I'm here, it's maybe a little bit easier. For what I would say for somebody who is starting their path, um, again, patience. And then also the old school, put yourself in their shoes.
Mm,
Okay? Because anybody, especially you or me, or somebody else who is on this soul journey, can do that with our family too, who maybe they're not quite there yet with their soul. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Think about where they've been, what they've been through, and obviously, um, in the adult world, in the banking industry, I'm not going to know what all my clients have been through. But when they're talking to me and telling me something, I really listen. And that's what you need to do. You need to listen, never jump to conclusions because their journey, again, put yourself in their shoes, way different than yours. So I would say patience, put yourself in their shoes, and try, how do I say this in a short term? Like just be there, like in the moment for them, even if it's a business related thing.
do you find that because you do that, that I've had other colleagues and friends and clients that say this, because you do that, you're sitting here in a financial business thing, and all of a sudden, somehow they feel this safe space that you created, and they start to talk to you about other things,
Oh
things that
gosh,
you they have nothing to do, right? Because they sense that. Have you found that to be true?
all my customers like love me. Um, it's they tell me things. I even have some that will, and because I deal with a lot of people that are farmers, baking industry, and I mean, I'm honey, you know, such a break in my day that I get to talk to you, Nikki. With that was my worst Southern accent.
They probably try and set an appointment with you. Really don't have anything to banking to talk. They just want to come and see you, right?
Yeah, so I am actually completely over the phone. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many Outlook reminders I have to call so and so, because I make sure that they are a priority, like in their schedule, um, to help them. So it's, yeah, I mean, I have people, and especially when some of my commercial loans and leases are done, like they're sad. Like they're never going to talk to me again. And I recently just had a fella like probably 6 weeks ago, and he's like, "So, am I? I'm never going to hear from you again." And I'm like, "Well, maybe if you get another piece of equipment, you
Yeah,
know."
I mean that's just amazing. Have you ever had a client that came back to you a while later? It could be a year later, 2 years later, and they said, "Nick, I want to thank you so much for just listening to me. I've been able to change my life. I've, some kind of non-business thing where you really touch them and you get that feedback."
Yeah. So actually, it's not necessarily been that situation. like they've come back like a year later or
Yeah.
whatever. But we deal with a lot of people that have, passed away or a traumatic experience has happened. So it leaves them in a situation that is not ideal. And I am more empathetic than probably the person next to me, at work. So I will talk to them about their troubles, and I will provide some feedback that is something they would never hear from somebody that works in a bank. Um, just letting them know that it's going to be okay. Like, you're going to be fine. And this is just a really big stepping stone that you're going to have to get over. And let's figure it out.
What I hear you saying is that listening, live and let live, being non-judgmental is just as powerful a healing as laying on of hands or Reiki. The
Yeah.
healing can come in all sizes, shapes, or form, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, it could just be even somebody at the grocery store. They notice your people pick up on healers. They look at you, they stare
Mm.
at you, and they find a way to like even like just say hi at the grocery store. And I'm like, it's a great day or whatever. Yeah.
So the Nikki now,
Mhm.
if she were to, I always ask this question. It's a fun question to look at. If the Nikki now were to communicate to the Nikki from 5 or 6 years ago, or the Nikki before Vera was born, what would Nikki today say to the Nikki who was maybe just awakening way back then?
Um, wow, that is a really good question. I would say because I think she was confused. Let's just go before Vera.
Yeah, yeah.
28 years old, 29 years old. I would probably tell her um, it's going to be okay because that's so generic. Um, I would just probably give her like a really big hug and just let her know that you've got this. You've always been amazing and it's going to get even better. So just wait, be patient.
It's like
Just,
giving yourself a big love feast, right?
God, I would just give her such a big hug. I would give my 7-year-old self a big hug. Um, because yeah, life can be confusing and sometimes it's all not perfect, right? So you just, yeah, I think hugs go a big way. I give her a hug.
Well, and that's what you're doing on the phone too, right? When you're with a farmer or something like that, that's kind of like a virtual hug, right?
Yes, telling them. And because a lot of my farmers are going through things, there's a lot of stuff happening to farmers right now.
Right.
Weather is not the same. Um, Also, the pricing for their products is down. I mean, this is a whole nother
Yeah.
topic, but yeah, I love my clients. I love like getting them through the situation that they're in. I am in a risk situation with them. I'm not just the here is your brand new loan. No, we're I'm dealing with the risk. So
Beautiful. Well, Empowered Soul Network uh, tribe out there, you're hearing from a 24/7 walking healing light. 24/7, right, Nikki?
yeah, oh yeah, it is 24/7, even
There
when
you
you're
go.
sleeping.
There you go. So tell us how we can get a hold of you, and you're going to post some of the connections. I know you've got some retreats coming up, some special programs that are happening. We'll make sure we post those in the links underneath the video when we finish live streaming. But verbalize it. Tell us how we can get a hold of you.
So always, of course, you can just reach out to me for Reiki healing. That the first, if you are a new client to me, it's going to be about 90 minutes because I want to spend some time with you.
Sure.
Um, and the actual hands-on is about 60 minutes every time, no matter what. But you can on my business page. I'm just Nikki Perryman, Reiki practitioner. I will put that in there. And then me and my Reiki masters, who are my soul sisters, who I have actually known for so many years, like my soul and their souls have been together forever. Um, we are doing sound baths healing. So sound healing is kind of like Reiki, hands on, but you're laying down. You are more than likely, we're, provided a nice pillow, and we use our sounds to
Hmm.
heal. So this could be anything, the same thing that Reiki can heal, like anxiety, depression, stress. It can even break dis-ease in the body. And I'm not saying it's going to heal a disease, but it can start breaking up a dis-ease for you. And then we're also going to do a women's retreat this summer. So the first one is just going to probably be an all-day thing, and we're going to be, doing Reiki, meditation, yoga, sound healing, drumming. So, getting back into like Egyptian roots, Mayan roots, using more sounds, to heal. And then also we have one of our friends that they're going to help us like make photographs of us in nature. So like
Beautiful.
braiding into like flowers on the ground. It's just going to be super awesome. So I will include all of those dates perhaps in this
Sure.
in the we have
Sure.
not in our Facebook events yet, but they're going to be done like probably by tomorrow, because we have one in April. I believe it's the 14th. April 14th is our first one, and then May 19th, I think, if I'm using correct memory. So those are going to be our monthly sound healings. And then in June, we're going to have a retreat, and that could be 6 to 8 hours long. We plan to have it at Raccoon River Lodge, and then do a lot of the nature stuff outside in the back where there is just, it's beautiful. So lots of fun stuff to watch
Beautiful.
for. And my amazing soul sisters, they are Reiki masters, just beautiful people.
Well, there you go. There you have it, folks. If you want to connect with Nikki Perriman and the light and the healing that she expresses and that she connects with all over Des Moines and Iowa and virtually and everywhere, just make sure you see the links, underneath the video, and tell your friends about this. Let them know that they can watch this replay 24/7 if they like. And Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. Powered Soul Network. We just love it. An empowered soul shares.
Yes, yes,
Yay.
so much. Happy Sunday, you guys. Enjoy the weather. It's amazing. I have all my windows open.
Great. Take care. Have a great day. Stick around for a minute. We'll chat afterwards.